Here are the two neuron models. You have the white one and the blue one. The white one obviously has a white soma, the blue one has a blue soma. All the structures are the same, and the most difficult part, they're similar on both of them also. So first, let's start with the difficult part. Dendrites versus synaptic knobs. The synaptic knobs, if you kind of look at them, they're rubbery. And all the synaptic knobs on all the models are going to be rubbery versus the hard dendrites. And if you remember back to the lecture, dendrites bring information in. These synaptic knobs are from other types of neurons, and these are the ends of those neurons that are sending signals via synaptic cleft into either another neuron in this case, or further on into a muscle or a gland. So once we got past the dendrite, the synaptic knobs, everything else is relatively easy. So let's look at everything else. So with everything else, you have the soma, or the cell body. You have the nucleus on the inside. You have the nucleolus. You have rough endoplasmic reticulum. You have mitochondria. You have the Golgi apparatus like you would in a normal cell. But for this, just memorize the nucleus and nucleolus. Because what makes this different is this type of cell is excitable. So all of those signals are going to come down to this area right here that's in pink, and that's called your axon terminus or axon hillock. Older books call it the axon terminus. Newer books are calling it the axon hillock. Then this leads into the axon. And you can see the axon runs all the way down the length of the neuron. Here it's in cross section, so you can see some mitochondria in there. You see a bunch of fibers and other types of chemicals and stuff that travels along the entire way that help maintain the membrane of the axon. Wrapped up along the axon, because this is in the peripheral nervous system, is going to be myelin sheath like this. And you'll see cells that are going to regulate the myelin sheath in the peripheral nervous system, and those are called Schwann cells. So the Schwann cells wrap one layer of myelin sheath over each node. And in between each myelin sheath is going to be a node of Renvier. So a node of Renvier, Schwann cell, myelin sheath, nucleus. And all you have to do is, if you were looking at the blue one, are the same structures. Let's take a look. You have the hard plastic from the dendrites. You have the soft rubber from the synaptic knobs. You have the nuclear envelope surrounding the nucleus. You have the nucleolus. You then have the axon hillock leading into the axon. This is a node with the node of Renvier in between them. And the myelin sheath is still going to be maintained by a Schwann cell. And there you can clearly see the axon being surrounded by that insulated layer of myelin. And those are all the structures you need to memorize on the neurons.